Let's talk about Top Cow Productions' complicated time. This is where they got into a complicated relationship with Image Comics. So at this time, we're like almost like 3 years deep in everything Image Comics. All the separate studios, they've solidified themselves. Their revenue is growing. Image Comics. Remember, just to have the Image Eye, you're basically paying money for that. Basically, you're renting that. And we have a schism. We have a fracturing. Rob Liefeld, Extreme Studios, Mark Silvestri, and Top Cow Productions. The part of this that we heard a lot of is that Rob Liefeld tried to recruit Michael Turner, Top Cow Productions, Mark Silvestri's Discovery. Rob Liefeld tried to poach him. He calls Top Cow Productions, but supposedly Mark Silvestri picks up the phone and says, Rob Liefeld's like, who is this? And then we get, it's Mark F. and Silvestri. That's pretty much what was accounted for on the Image Comics documentary. But here's the other weird tidbit. Extreme Studios tried to merge with Top Cow Productions around this time. The reason for that is they believed that their resources and their sales and everything would be better together. Supposedly, okay, and this is somewhat coming from Rob Liefeld himself on Robservations podcast. He was laughed out of the room. They were like, we don't want any of you, like, move on, like, bye, boy. So here we go. Top Cow Productions during the schism breaks off on their own. They become their own independent publisher. And we have one of those publications right here. Now, this was only for roughly 2 to 3 months. But we have Tales of the Witchblade #1. Immediately turning the hit comic book into what we now like to call a legacy character. Around this time, Todd McFarlane was doing something very similar with Spawn, with The Curse of Spawn, drawn by Dwayne Turner. Eric Larson hadn't quite made Savage Dragon Legacy yet. And by legacy, the definition for that is we almost have like a title or a mantle or like a costume and multiple different people wear it. Shadowhawk later becomes Legacy. So the other book that Top Cow puts out is Darkness. We spoke about this before. But this is the one that fascinates me, because Darkness still lives to this day, right? Darkness still brings in the money. But Tales of the Witchblade only runs about 9 issues. 9 issues. And we have a great issue 1 here, drawn by Tony Daniel. Later to go on to the 10th. Later to go on to F5. Later to go on to the New 52. And he spearheads Detective Comics. He's no joke, beyond talented. But Tales of the Witchblade, well, we have a new wielder of the Witchblade during the time of pirates. And this is all before Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates, ninjas, zombies, these are things that are always cool. But of this time, like right here, like what's inside of this issue, pirates aren't quite back. See, the impact of Jack Sparrow and Pirates of the Caribbean, it's so large, right? That's what she said. It's so impactful, it pretty much never goes away. Same way, like when they remade Dawn of the Living Dead, right? The Zack Snyder masterpiece. Zombies never went away when that movie roared back. It brought this antiquated idea, put a new skin on it, and then all systems were go, and people just loved it. In a similar light, Iron Man, Marvel Cinematic Studios, or the MCU, Marvel Studios. Robert Downey Jr., Iron Man, does something very similar for superheroes. Superheroes were deep, they were embedded, they were in cinema. We had Spider-Man, we had Alec Baldwin as the Shadow, we had Michael Keaton. We had superheroes on the screen before, but Iron Man, like, it's never going to go away. We will always have a superhero movie because of it. So pirates were not yet back. And to turn Witchblade into a legacy character, this was the idea that they went for. Now, we also have to talk about the quality of this issue. We got a couple questionable pages, but overall, it's superior penciling, inking, and coloring that we have today. Writing, we got Christina Z, who's on Witchblade at the time, does the best job possible to give a backstory. You give the characters a mission. When the characters has to find the Witchblade, and when they find the Witchblade, kill the bad guys. This is somewhat of a problem with like a Curse of Spawn book or a Tales of the Witchblade book, because it is a kind of monster idea of the week, and you kind of have to keep it going. And yes, you run out of ideas very quickly for something like that. But this issue is so artful. It's giant. It's big. I love it. I really do. We have a sideways spread page coming up. You guys know when I love turning the book. But this is a symbol of its time, and it's nothing quality-wise that we get today. And that's what we have to focus on. We have to we have to ignore we have to ignore the quality right now, because this is an era that surpasses everything done now, and that's a little bit of why it's frustrating, going through this with you guys. When we do our Top Cow Tuesdays, when we do our Wildstorm Wednesdays, it's there's a side of me that just wants to fight, because I don't see any of this quality today. Some of it, there's pieces of it, but overall, in the aggregate, I do not. So let's hit the drawing table, and it's going to be a quick one today. That's what she said. I just want to breeze through Tales of the Witchblade #1, show it off, and we have Tony Daniel struggling to draw animals. We always talk about what are the three things. Right, women, children, animals. You can judge any art. No, actually, you know what? We take women off. It's cars, children, animals. That's it. That's how you judge an artist. Here we go, AKAPADers. Cheers. Get yourself some of that sippy. I buy Hot Wheels, Batmobile Hot Wheels for one of my best friend's sons. I picked this up for him today. And I don't know why, but I'm 50-50. I mean, I may have to find another one. These are all over Philly, but the black and the yellow. Let me know in the comments. Should I open it or give it to him? This is going to be one of the only times I ever ask this question. Because look here, just focus real quick on here. Look how, I don't know, those yellow strokes, those yellow lines, I don't know, they just work so well with the anime series Batmobile. I just want to showcase, so I don't have a lot of supplemental Witchblade, but here's Tales of the Witchblade issue 5. With Richard Bennett as artist. This is the Egyptian one. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I think this is the Aztec one. This one's awesome. This one's pretty wild. I haven't read 6. Tales of the Witchblade 6. Wow. Clarence Lasang. Dave Finch story. I didn't even know that. But look, Rainy Green, Billy Tane. Dane Fraga in on this one. I'm not familiar with this one. But it's what a fun series. Here's issue 1. And then when we further the conversation of Witchblade becoming a legacy character, Medieval Spawn and Witchblade by the fantastic Brandon Peterson. Look, Garth Ennis on writing. This got a sequel. I think the sequel was 20 years later. But, I mean, wild, crazy, fun ideas, right? But yeah, Witchblade becoming a legacy character relatively happened. Let's just get like a time frame. If we go into the ads here, and there's some amazing ads for the 10th. But we're at Witchblade issue 10. So within 10 issues of Witchblade, they break away from Image. And they go Top Cow solo. We get Darkness, we get Tales of Witchblade. Just looking at this Tony Daniel cover, right? We got trouble drawing the cat. Animals are not easy. And this is a post. I mean, this has got to be a photo reference post. Another question for the commenters. Anyone that knows the origin of this post, what photograph Tony Daniel used, please let me know. Link it. Let me, because this video is also going to go on Twitter or X. It's going to be available. The Tale of Anna Booney. I mean, get this wonderful script here. It is tight. It is condensed. But look at the coloring. We talk a lot about setting the stage and transitioning scenes with color. The inside cover alone, right? We are in the past. If we're dealing with pirates, one of the early images that we have to see, and again, there's so many of you out there, you guys will go on and on about tropes, and tropes are evil, and tropes are this. It's a bad opinion, because tropes help us understand what's happening. If we're dealing with pirates, if we know we're dealing with pirates, very early on, we want to see a sailboat with some clouds, a rising or setting sun in the ocean. And we get that image 1, page 1, panel 1. Our little pirate babe here, she's excited because she's pregnant. And she's like, in eight fortnights, right? we're going to pop one out of the oven. Then our babe shows up, and they basically just go through a map. They go through a map. We have the monkey. Again, like, there's so many similarities with Pirates of the Caribbean. We have a monkey. Now, the monkey could be from Raiders of the Lost Ark. But we land on the island. And this is great, because when they're going through the scroll here, they're reading the excerpts of a captain's log. And essentially, the island is described to be alive. Everyone's like, that's crazy. This is crazy talk. But we know as soon as they get to the island, the island is going to be living. And as soon, aka Patters, I love the transition of these 4 panels. Again, far away to close up. Very natural feeling. We talk a lot about how real comic book storytelling works subliminally. It's subliminal. But I like, we're pulled away from the camera. We can tell we're in the boat. We can see all of our characters. They're getting to the island. Great bird's eye view here by Tony Daniel. Yeah. And we have our pregnant girl. And they talk about, like, things moving. It's kind of like the sand's moving underneath of them. The trees are moving. And everything about the island, we say it right here. Rico, I want you to watch below. William, watch the treetops. Mary, keep an eye on those swinging branches. And Andy, have your weapon ready at all times. At all times. Yeah, and we see, the creatures start coming alive. The creatures are bigger. Vines are moving. Branches are going. And then all of a sudden, one of our boys here, great, fantastic pose here by Tony Daniel. Tony Daniel, too, really, this is one of the things. We got 2 things here I love about 90s comics. The crazy close-ups, and just the way we draw our own panels. I mean, look, again, what texture is this? Or what's this replicating? What is this supposed to be? It doesn't matter. It's just cool looking. And we kind of have it as a silhouette here. I mean, then we have it as a negative there. But yeah, our boy gets eaten. Just like in Little Shop of Horrors, the heart gets spit out, and then here we go. Crazy 90s expressions. And the same will happen to us if we don't get the hell out of here. These are the two wasted pages I referenced in our introduction. They look like they're throwing pages. Moving on, there's not a lot that... I mean, she tells this guy to go back to the ship because they get under attack. It's Blackbeard, right? Because it's a pirate story. We have to use Blackbeard. And she's like, get back to the ship. And then he gets kind of like avalanched with mud. And no one, like, it doesn't get addressed. So we turn the page and we get something interesting. Number one, we get Tony Daniel drawing some decent animals. But our girl here, she kind of talks about how she notices things are different. Like, she kind of knows the animals are there. She can hear the animals. She's connected to the island. Things are different. What do you want from me? And why are ye not calling on the others? Only me. By ye, she means the island. She knows the island is only talking to her. But we get Blackbeard. Like, look at Blackbeard. Looking awesome. Crazy 90s close-up. I really like just the way how Daniel... Like, the way how Daniel breaks down the information here. He uses, like, an ornamental design style to fill up the sailboat. The focal point, if we triangulate everything, right? Focal point is Blackbeard. We see that we're rowing, even though no one's got an oar in the river. But this tree here, and what's above here, and these, right, these leaves, these branches, we know we're deeper in the island. The colorist comes in, gives us a mist. We're not in... Right? We're not in the beginning of the island. We're not in the middle of the island where it's green. We're in where it's dark and misty. Just through the coloring alone, we move through the scenes. And here we go. Witchblade. They find the Witchblade. It's on the waterfall. Our girl's ready to go. And we have one of our guys here. I reckon no point in getting wet any, huh? And he quickly just loses his arm, but look at that 90s blood. Tony Daniel has, look guys, animals. He's got a little bit of an issue drawing cats from this angle. We kind of see a little bit on the cover. We see it here. The other photo references come in, but these painters attack. They come out of nowhere. Blackbeard gets the pregnant girl. I was hoping Blackbeard had a little bit more of a hook, design-wise. Because when we see him, he's pretty well shadowed previously, right here. And I was just hoping for a little bit more of a hook. But anyway, he tells her to drop the gun. She drops the gun. We have our painters lurking in the background. And these guys, dude, they do nothing but make cracks about wanting to do things with the girl. Like, horrible things. Things that would get you demonetized on YouTube. But the painters come in because they're connected to her. They protect her. She gets the Witchblade. She transforms. And this is where... See, when we get to Medieval Spawn, the Witchblade, right? By the time we get to Medieval Spawn, like, the Witchblade is essentially like a different character. For this, and this could have, I really do feel like this could have turned people off of the whole series. When our girl here gets the Witchblade, she looks just like Sarah P. She just looks like a reskinned version of the character we already know. It would be nice if the Witchblade here had a little bit more of a pirate theme. I feel like if this was retold today, it would. But yeah. She gets all the creatures and she controls the island. And they kind of eat everyone alive and we're done. And we're off. And we have a very nice, well-drawn issue. The poses of Tony Daniel, the close-ups of Tony Daniel, his effects, they're all there. They all sing. Again, we have two wasted pages. This is one of his worst faces, but he does a great girl, like, female profile. He does great expressions. This dude drowning, like, you guys know, I love the blood effect here. I mean, look at the coloring, just with the highlights. These are the things I absolutely love about lassoing lassoing coloring, where we lasso and we fill it in. Just really hot stuff. The effects here of the dude in the lake, the pond, the mist here, the 90s moon. It's really good stuff, guys. Even here, like the light breaking through, hitting, like, look at that reflection, that shine. It's there. I think this is a great issue. I think if you were reading Witchblade and you picked this up at the time, you would be happy with this. I have to get all 9 of these because I really want to do an analysis of why I feel like it fell through. This as a publication, though, I love the Top Cow only trade dress. I love this. The letters page here, like everything here on the back covers. Look, it screams 90s because we have these different fonts, and we kind of, they blow up some letters here and there. They put fonts on top of each other. It still works to this day. It's still well designed. Can Cyber Force run The Devil is Coming? So we're leading into Devil's Reign. I'm not sure. I did a Devil's Reign video. I don't know if I spoke about Cyber Force 29. We have great house ads for the 10th. We have great ads for Witchblade. This era of Top Cow. So earlier when we started discussing Top Cow Wednesdays, Top Cow Tuesdays, I spoke about how they kind of broke through and became a design darling, where a lot of their house ads are just really, really good. I think they're the best of the era. I think by this point they had the best coloring in comics, best design, best coloring, and they had one hell of an art core. But I don't know, guys. This is a cheapie. You can afford it. Check it out. Let me know. Let me know if I'm too excited about this.